What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, former unified 3-belt WBA, WBC, IBF welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, Errol "The Truth" Spence Jr. suffered the first loss and setback of his career, July 29th, Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena, when he took on and lost to now undefeated 3-division world champion, 2-division undisputed world champion, and the reigning pound-for-pound recognized, acknowledged #1 fighter in the world in Terence "Bud" Crawford. Terence "Bud" Crawford is now 40 wins, no losses, no draw, 31 big wins by way of knockout, 36 years of age, 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. Errol "The Truth" Spence Jr. is 28 wins, 1 loss, no draws, 22 big wins by way of knockout, 33 years of age, 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. They fought in a highly anticipated mega showdown that was the biggest fight in the last decade. It was viewed to be the most 50-50 fight, even fight on paper, if there ever were one, in the last 40 years since Sugar Ray Leonard took on Tommy Hearns. On paper, nobody can truly commit to saying for sure they felt like this was a one-sided fight. You had mega fights, and I'm talking about in mega fights. You had mega fights like the mega fight between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. Floyd Mayweather was the clear favorite. People thought and wanted to see Floyd Mayweather lose, but they weren't sure. These were 2 undefeated top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world at the time they fought. Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. Floyd Mayweather was no doubt the #1 best fighter in the world, but was Manny Pacquiao the #2, undoubtedly #2 fighter in the world? No, he had been brutally knocked out by Juan Manuel Marquez. He had been knocked out 2 times previous to that. He was outboxed by Eric Morales. He had multiple losses. The blueprint was there. Undoubtedly, top 5, Errol Spence and Terence Crawford were in the top 5. What order you put them in was subject to your opinion. But there was no doubt these 2 were top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world. And this fight was anticipated for an extremely long time. And the event lived up to the billing. The fight lived up to the billing. It was action-packed. But it wasn't even. It wasn't competitive. Errol Spence won the first round. I gave it. And he won the first half of the 3rd round. Terence Crawford dropped Errol Spence in the 2nd round, twice in the 7th round, and stopped him in the 9th round. And all the rounds in between that, from round 3 on, 4, 5, 6, Terence Crawford dominated those rounds. 8, he dominated those rounds, to the point where many people thought that the fight should have been stopped in the 6th round. Some people thought it should have been stopped in the 6th round, in the 7th round, in the 8th round. Ultimately, it was stopped in the 9th round. And Errol Spence, being a warrior, the soldier that he is, he went out on his shield. And he still didn't get knocked out. He went out on his feet. It looked like he was on the verge of getting knocked out, but he still went out on his feet, on his shield. Strap season, man down, big fish. He lives by that motto. And that's what he displayed in the ring that night. He left nothing to be desired, but to wonder if there was something wrong with Errol Spence. Was he weight drained? There's reports that he had a broken rib going into the fight. There's reports that he was weight drained before the fight, right? There's tons and tons of different reports as to what happened with Errol Spence. Most recently, it came out, Victor Conte brought awareness to Errol Spence running the mountain the week of the fight. I did my homework, did the receipts. July 25th, he's running the mountain with his close friend and assistant, Jay Isom, Jordan, right? Which I had commented on that. post that Jordan had put up on Instagram. That was July 25th, 4 days before the fight, right? So we don't truly know. Did we see the best version of Errol Spence and it was just Terence Crawford's skill set that offset what Errol Spence does great that made Errol Spence look like that? Or was it that Errol Spence was actually hindered by something that didn't allow him to perform to the standard that we're accustomed to seeing him perform at? Errol Spence had it in his contract that he can have an immediate rematch. The loser gets an immediate rematch, right? And guess what Errol Spence did? In the ring, after that, he stated, we got to run that back. He said, I want a rematch in December at 154. He told his son, we saw on All Access, he told his son on All Access, hey, we got to get that back. We got to get that back. We got to run that back. We got to do that over. He was disappointed. Errol Spence went on a small hiatus from that point forward. He wasn't on social media. You didn't see him doing interviews. He went underground. He went on vacation. You saw glimpses of him through his significant other on vacation. But that was it. Now Errol Spence resurfaced as it looks like the rematch. He activated the rematch clause. It looks like it's going to take place in March or April. It looks like it's going to take place at 154. And Errol Spence, he activated that rematch clause. He won it back. So with that said, Errol Spence is now surfaced. Now we see photos. We saw photos of Errol Spence, new tattoo, physique, in shape, look lean, right? But now we see photos of Errol Spence training, and it's a cryptic, indirect message, but you can see the bloody hand wraps and the bloody gloves as he was hitting the pads. Errol Spence already stated, we got to get that back in blood, right? He want that back, no doubt. So Errol Spence is committed, as that's all the fans want to see. The absolute most healthy, best version of Errol Spence there possibly can be. To see a competitive fight, if it was just Terence Crawford's skill set, because I believe Terence Crawford is a great fighter. He can fight orthodox, he can fight southpaw. You know, now you see tons of reports coming out. Terence Crawford was on PEDs, performance enhancers. Terence Crawford didn't use VADA testing. You know, Terence Crawford gloves was tampered with. So many rhymes and reasons other than Terence Crawford's skill set and his talent. And now Terence Crawford, who's been at 147 himself for 5 years and 8 fights. And he's older than Errol Spence. He's 3 years older than Errol Spence. So it ain't easy for Terence Crawford to make 147 pounds either. So Terence Crawford going up to 154 is going to benefit Terence Crawford just like it's going to benefit Errol Spence. I think we're going to see an even better version of Terence Crawford just like we're going to see an even better version of Errol Spence. So Errol Spence, he let it be known, I'm coming to get it back in blood, as he should. And this is what makes it intriguing, because after that performance, not too many people, mainly the casuals, weren't interested in seeing a rematch because the way the first fight unfolded. So fans are not intrigued by seeing a rematch. They don't want to see a rematch. They're not interested in a rematch because the way this fight unfolded and took place. So people want to see competitive fights, and they don't deem a rematch to be competitive because the way Errol Spence looked. But it's intriguing to hear all of these things. It was the rib injury. He ran the mountain. He was weight drained. Now, Errol Spence has an idea of what it's like to be in there with Terence Crawford. We don't see Terence Crawford in rematches. We ain't never saw Errol Spence in rematch, but we definitely never seen Terence Crawford in rematch. And he has stopped and knocked out every opponent he's faced at welterweight. So now we're going to get an idea of what it's like to see Terence Crawford actually make an adjustment. and see Errol Spence make an adjustment and how they're going to look. So Errol Spence sends the message, coming to get it back in blood, back training with the bloody gloves and bloody hand wraps. Let's see how this unfolds and plays out. Looks like it's going to be March or April. I can't wait to get the announcement, and I'm more intrigued by this rematch than ever before. And that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. So all I got for y'all. I'm gone. Peace.